Most tourists spend months planning their trip to Rome, but once they get here, they make some massive mistakes that the travel guides don't warn you about. Everything from hundreds of dollars in unsuspecting fines to eating at restaurants that the locals avoid like the plague. Today I'm going to give you the 9 biggest mistakes you need to avoid during your next trip to Rome. I'm Gary with Optimal Travel. Let's get started. The first time I ever went to Rome, I thought there's going to be so many restaurant and food options that I'll just walk down the street and when I'm hungry, I'll find a place and go and check it out. But if you do that, you're likely to get stuck in a tourist trap. And this is because the restaurants right around the major attractions tend to be just that. Their prices will be heavily inflated. The food quality will not be what you will get at an authentic Italian restaurant. And there are a couple of telltale signs that what you're about to walk into is a tourist trap restaurant. One is they'll have a barker outside, somebody that is calling to tourists, trying to round people up and get them into their restaurant. The good restaurants never need to do this. And another type of restaurant to avoid is one that looks kind of like an Italian restaurant, but also maybe like it might be an Indian restaurant. Be careful of these. They're total tourist traps. They'll flip the menu on you. If they see tourists coming by, they'll try to offer you Italian cuisine. Otherwise, there are locals who sometimes go there for the Indian cuisine. But in my experience, it's not the best quality because when you're trying to do too much, you can't be great at it. The real place to go to find true Italian restaurants is a little bit off the tourist spots. You're going to want to follow the locals there. An easy way to figure out where the locals go and what the best restaurants are is look at the Google star ratings on Google Maps. Look at restaurants and plan out which ones you're going to consider eating at even before you get out of your hotel.
Rome is an international city, so it has all kinds of cuisine. However, most people go there because they want the original Italian experience. Please let us know in the comments, what do you prefer when you're there?
And this next mistake can keep you from really seeing what you came to Rome for. If you're going to be in Rome in the summer, the heat gets intense, especially midday. From about 10 to 4 are the worst hours. And that, unfortunately, is when all the crowds go to the major sites. So if you're trying to go see the Trevi Fountain in the middle of the day, not only are you going to have all these crowds to contend with and have difficulty getting a good view and getting good pictures, but you're also going to be waiting in long lines, especially if you pay the entry fee now to get down into the front. And you're going to be in the sun, in the heat, and it's not the most comfortable situation. The same thing goes at the Colosseum and the Vatican. Your best bet with these big sites is to book them early or go early in the day, as early as you possibly can, or late in the afternoon, as late as you possibly can. Sites like the Trevi Fountain, you can go 24 hours. And if you go really late into the night, you won't even have to pay a fee to get down in there. A lot of the spots that have designated entry times, like the Colosseum and the Vatican, have time slots into the evening. And if you go at that time, or if you go first thing in the morning, you're going to have less heat, less crowds, and a much better experience. So what do you do in the middle of the day? Plan a good Italian lunch at an authentic restaurant. And book an underground tour. Rome has several of them. There's one right under the Trevi Fountain that most people miss. If you do this in the middle of the day, you're out and away from the heat. And they're all timed entry slots, so you book it in advance and it won't be overcrowded. There's another one at Piazza Navona, which is really good. Whatever you choose to do, it's a great way to get out of the heat in the middle of the day. Next, I'm going to tell you how to avoid a mistake that costs tourists a ton of money trying to stay hydrated. But first, take a minute and subscribe to our channel. That way, you won't miss our next video. The very first time I went to a restaurant in Italy, I was kind of shocked that they don't bring you tap water. And this is just a thing in Italy and in a lot of places in Europe. You have to buy bottled water. When you're seeing the sights of Rome, you're going to need water with you because it gets hot. You're doing a lot of walking. You have to stay hydrated. But a mistake most tourists make is they're constantly running into a shop and buying another bottle of water when there are free water fountains all throughout Rome. These fountains are at all the major monuments and sites, and if you just have a refillable bottle, you can fill that up everywhere you go, and it's clean, pure drinking water. Italians use it themselves all the time, and that way you don't have to keep buying another bottle of water throughout your day. The first time I went to Rome, one of the high priorities on my list was seeing the Vatican, but I didn't get to see it because I didn't buy the tickets in advance. And a lot of the sites in Rome, in particular the Vatican, the Colosseum, book up months ahead of time, especially in the summer and the more popular tourist months. So once you know you're going to Rome, that's the time to start planning and booking the tickets for the big sites that you want to get into. It's not just in Rome. This happens in other places throughout Italy as well. But if you want to see the Vatican or you want to see the Colosseum, get online. They all have their own site to buy your tickets and buy them for a time slot and a date that you're going to be there. Because if you just get there and walk up and try to find a ticket, there could be none for that day. There could be none for that entire month. Sometimes they're very hard to find. And while you might be able to get in with a tour guide who bought a block of tickets ahead of time, they're going to charge you a pretty penny for it. So the best thing to do and to save yourself some money and a headache is get these tickets in advance.
Don't trust people who want to sell them to you just on the street. These may be counterfeit and they won't let you in.
And this next mistake just about gets a tourist fined every single day. A lot of visitors to Rome aren't used to how the Italian transit system works in Rome and in other cities. But typically you have to buy a ticket for a train, for a bus, for the metro, and that ticket is good whenever you use it into the future. So when you get on, you have to validate that ticket in order to show them that you're using it for this ride. And there's not usually somebody to validate it with. There's just a machine you have to validate it on. A lot of tourists get in trouble with this because they aren't sure what to do and they just figure they'll get on the bus with their ticket, and if somebody asks, they'll show them the ticket. But the problem is that ticket is reusable if not validated. So if you don't validate your ticket and somebody comes and checks, they won't care that you have a ticket. They'll hit you with a hefty fine for not validating it. It's not that difficult to validate these tickets, but I have an easier workaround. One is you can download the Money Go app, which is what they use in Rome. There's actually a couple apps, but this is one of them you can use, and you can get your bus tickets and anything right on that app. And when you get on that bus, there's a button on the app to validate that ticket, and it'll be digitally validated. And if anybody asks you, you can show them that digital ticket, and it's perfectly legitimate. And another easy way to do public transport in Rome, if you're using the metro, is you can tap and go. You can do this with a credit card, with Apple Pay, with Google Pay. All you need to do is when you're entering the station through the gates, you don't even need a ticket to be validated. You just tap your card or your phone and it'll let you in, and it'll charge you the base fare, which is about €1.50 for one trip. And if you make enough trips to add up to the €7 day pass, which means unlimited rides during that day, it will not charge you more than that. So it keeps track of who you are, how many rides you're taking, and it'll charge you the appropriate amount without you having to think about a thing. The first time my wife and I went to Italy, I'll admit it, I overpacked a bit. I thought, well, I'm going for 2 weeks. I need a lot of stuff. And that's a big mistake because in Italy and in Rome, you're doing a lot of walking on streets that are cobblestone. It's hard to pull luggage. Unless you're spending a lot of money on transfers or taxis to take you everywhere, you're going to need to drag that luggage from train station to hotel, maybe to another hotel. In fact, in Rome, what I like to do is stay in a couple different hotels. So I do different areas of the city each night. And it's hard to do if you have heavy suitcases you have to lug all over the place. Your best bet is to pack light because this is not only going to help you in Rome, it's going to help you wherever else in Italy your travel is taking you. And once you have those tickets to these major sites you want to see in Rome, there is a strict dress code at some of them, in particular the Vatican. This comes into play mostly in the summer where a lot of tourists get turned away even though they have the proper tickets because they're not dressed properly. In order for you to enter the Vatican, you will have to have shoulders and knees covered. So I understand sometimes it's hot out there in Rome, but you need to bring something to cover up with because otherwise you'll be denied entry. And it's not just the Vatican, it's other religious sites, and certain museums have this policy as well. So when you're traveling Rome, just have something to cover up with in case you need it.
It's important to know that this dress code also applies to kids. So if your kids are joining you, make sure that they can also cover themselves and comply with these rules.
Now, way too many tourists still fall victim to this next scam, which is actually legal. But before I get to that, take a minute and hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel. It helps us grow and we'll continue bringing you travel content. On my first trip to Rome, I was caught off guard a couple of times when I went to pay for something with my American credit card and the cashier turned the machine around to me and asked me to select a choice of whether I wanted it to be charged in euros or dollars. So I just said to charge it in dollars because I figured that's the currency my credit card is in. But that was a big mistake. When that credit card machine is asking you if they can charge you in dollars, what they're asking you is if they can charge you more. Because if they charge you in euros, all that happens is they charge your credit card, Chase, Bank of America, whoever you have that with, in euros, and your bank will convert it to dollars at a reasonable exchange rate. The merchants operating these credit card machines, they will not. They will overcharge you at a rate much higher in most cases than what your credit card company will. Just as a rule of thumb, whenever you're dealing with money and paying with a credit card, always pay in euros, not dollars in Rome. And if you're using an ATM in Rome, always take out that cash in euros, not dollars. This is a big way you can save more of your money. And you're going to want to avoid this next mistake in order to save even more. In Rome, they are very protective of their history, and understandably so. And there are some hefty fines for anyone touching, sitting, climbing any of the ancient ruins.
Sometimes you may see cats playing around these ruins, but they're basically the only ones allowed to touch them.
But it extends beyond that in some cases. For example, if you're seeing the Spanish steps in Rome, it is illegal to sit down on them. They are afraid that tourists are going to sit down, drink, eat something, spill stuff on the ancient limestone, which can erode and cause it to decay. And that doesn't mean you won't see people doing these things because a lot of people don't know. So your best bet, if you need a break, you need to sit down somewhere, is to look for a public bench. They have these everywhere in all the piazzas throughout Rome. And there's no need to be sitting down on something that might or might not be meant for that. So now that you won't be making these mistakes in Rome, there are a lot of tourists who don't pack right for their trip to Italy. I'll tell you how to avoid those mistakes right here.